what's up, y'all? I caved. I caved. I I decided to try out the countdown. Now, I don't know if it's gonna work. And once again, it's really for LinkedIn. LinkedIn has this delay situation where it kind of cuts some of my beginning off. So we just testing and trying things out. Listen, today we are going to talk about how I was awaiting for a package. Package came, but I couldn't get to it. Um, we are already into week 2 of 2025. Some of y'all are probably already over it too. Some of y'all are like, listen, why are we even counting down? And I get it. But we're in the week 2 in 2025. And I think that the story that I'm about to share with you all might be similar or a microcosm to what might happen for a lot of us this year. Y'all ready for this? I don't know if y'all ready for this. All right. So I told you about, the fact that um, my coach is getting me a little bit more intentional with my nutrition. So in order for that to happen, he mentioned this months ago, but he kind of let it go and he's like, you know what, on your own time, we'll get there. So I took it upon myself um, over the weekend to go ahead and invest in just a food scale. Not, nothing big, nothing major, just a food scale. And I'm ready. I'm ready to just like start weighing the foods, looking at the grams and or the ounces, and just being more specific in what I'm the portions and what I'm eating, so that I can hit the macros that he's got set out for me, right? Because we have a particular schedule that we're going to be following as far as diet over the next about 8 weeks. And so I ordered that. I had to order a new cable for this monitor. So I'm like, okay, cool. Everything is going to come, and I'm ready. So I'm waiting, and of course, just and I'm looking forward to using the tools that's going to help me to get done what needs to get done. Right? There's no vanity tools here. These are specific things that I need in order to hit the mark, in order to hit a goal. So yesterday, there's some personal stuff going on, and so I'm already a little stressed, but I'm like, you know what? It's gonna be we live in 25. Like it's okay. Everything is cool. Now I get a notification. Hey, package is here. Let's go. You know what? Highlight of the day. Let's do it. Let's go downstairs. Let's go ahead and get this package. Well, first off, I should say, there's been changes made to my apartment. I mean, y'all already know I've got gripes, with where I'm living at the moment. But one of the changes is that I go ahead and put the little key card, little key fob to the security, to the sensor of the door, the package door, storage, and it doesn't work. It lights up red. I'm like, whoa, what's going on? So apparently they need to cut off access now to all residents, because apparently people got sticky fingers. Y'all, people are out here stealing packages. Like, I don't know if it's grown folk. I don't know if it's young folk. I don't know if it's the pets in the building. We don't know who it is, what it is, but somebody out here just is stealing packages. Now, and I don't know if they did it just for the holidays. I'm not sure. But to me, I'm like, yo, based on where we live, we shouldn't even be having these problems. Like, what are we doing? Why are we just taking people's stuff? Like, are we not a community? No, we're not. No, apparently we're not a community. All right. So you now have to have concierge unlock the door for us in order to go in. And not only that, y'all, it's crazy. You go in one at a time. They're writing down your number, which I'm glad they're doing. They're writing down your number, your unit number. You go in. At least one guy from concierge does it this way. I don't know if everyone else does it this way. He closes the door. It's almost like privacy now. Closes the door behind you. I guess he doesn't want to keep it open because I guess aesthetics or whatever, because there's just a lot of packages in there. No idea. And then he commences to go back down to his desk while we look for a package. Well, this particular day, I say that like it was a long time ago. Yesterday, y'all. Go ahead, ready for a package, ready to just, to continue to take things up a notch, 2025. And I can't find the package. Not even an hour ago, it said that the package came. Amazon took photos and everything. Amazon showed me where the package was. My package is in the storage room, unless Amazon was lying to me, y'all. The package is in the storage room. So now I'm looking through every single box. I'm like, okay, nope, that's not it. Nope, that's not it. I'm turning things over politely and gently because there's other people's stuff in there that I respect. And I'm thinking, well, it's not in any of the lockers, because if it was, I would have gotten a parcel pending notification. Some of y'all know what parcel pending is all about. So it's not in parcel pending. So I'm like, okay, so where is this? Where is the package? Where's the package? So I asked the guy, hey, did anyone, leave it in the front, or like, it's like, nope. Like, okay, so that means that somebody took it then, huh? Like, yeah, that's probably what it means. And it's like, you can't, what are you going to do? Now, in my mind, I'm thinking that there's already a system in place where y'all are writing down numbers. You should start investigating who was there previously, who was there within the hour, who was there, based on the timestamp that I've gotten that it says my package is received, who was in the room before. I get why now they're doing it like one by one. That makes sense. But man, talk about the inconvenience because people just don't know how to just not steal. It's crazy. All right. So now, still trying to keep a positive and upbeat attitude. Is like, and in 2 hours, I'll let you know. I come back down 2 hours later, no package. I go back up to the apartment, y'all, and I'm fuming. I'm upset. Like the whole we live in 2025, like the whole like positivity, optimism. I just broke. We only in day 8. I broke, y'all. I was like, yo, how can we just have people who, in this place that's, just take a step. Now, mind you, I'm not talking to nobody but myself because I'm by myself, and I'm just going at, just talking to like, what is up with people? Da, 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 da. I'm just like, man. The crazy part is a lot of that didn't happen out loud. Most of it happened in my head, but it prevented me from doing a few things. One of the things that it prevented me from doing is streaming yesterday because I was just so mentally drained, just with some other things. But that was like the one thing that just broke the camel's back, the straw, as they say, that broke the camel's back. And listen, you probably have experienced this, maybe not yet or not now, but you've experienced where there are other things that are happening in your life, and you just decide, you know what? Nope, it's okay. It's all good. I can move past this. I can move beyond this. And you're processing things, but damn it, we human. And sometimes you just need to, you just got whatever it is, it's there. You just got to let it out. And that was it for me. It was just a missed package. The infuriating part was knowing that my package had arrived, but I didn't have access to it because somebody took it. Then I said to myself, Chris, calm down. Hold on, wait a minute. What if nobody took it? What if it's in parcel pending? What if it's in the lockers, but you just didn't get the notification yet? What if it's in storage and you are also in storage, but you can't access it just yet? I mean, what's more? What is it? What's a better mentality to have? Would you rather know that you're in storage and your package is there, but you can't get to it, or knowing that you showed up, your package was there, and it potentially no longer is? I'd rather the first, because at least I know that it's there, it's safe, and it's going to come, versus my assumption in the beginning, which was my package doesn't even exist because somebody took it. So I said, have a different mindset, Chris. Your package probably wasn't taken. Maybe it's locked up in storage and you just have to be patient. And sure enough, the next morning, which was today, comes and I get a notification. I'm gonna show y'all right now. I get a notification at 7:26 a.m. Hey, you got a package. And it's so funny, y'all. Listen, I want y'all to listen to me very closely. It's so funny because there was a slight part of me that was just like, be patient, relax, it's okay. You don't need this food scale in order to weigh your food for the evening. Just do what you need to do, execute. You were doing well without it already. You're just using it so that you can improve a little bit, but it's not a necessity. There was that part. It was almost as if it's like, man, now that I'm choosing to invest in certain things and to improve, why do things have to happen that prevents it from wanting, from wanting me to get there? Like that's part of the frustration that was there. Another part of the frustration is when I go downstairs because somebody said that something has arrived, it should be there. I should have access to it because somebody told me that it's there. I see the picture. Amazon showed me that it's in the locker, well, in the room. I didn't know it was in the locker. It should be there. Why are we not having things done on the time that it says that it's like, what's going on? Lots of different, if I were to strip apart the layers, the expectation that I have of showing up and something be there, the frustration that I had of, now that I'm needing specific things as the year's beginning, why isn't it coming the way and when I want it to come? Like everything else came. The bills done came. Those will show up on time every month. Why can't the things that's going to better me and not be taken away from me or my bank account, why can't those come when I expect it to come, right? So there are lots of things, just layers, things that started to add up, and I realized, wow. But there was a shred of moment where I said, stay calm. The package is there. Relax. It's all right. Go to sleep. Because by this time, when the front desk was like, I'll let you know in 2 hours, and I went down and it still wasn't there. Like it was like almost I think 9:30, maybe 10. And it was like, just go to sleep. Relax. Get your 7-8 hours in. Just calm down. So that's what I did. I just decided to relax and choose to believe that the package was there until I woke up, went to the gym, and as my trainer was like, so how are you? You won't believe. It's so funny because my trainer's also, he lives in the same apartment. He's like, man, you won't believe what happened this time around, because there's a whole bunch of stuff that's just going on and where we live. And so anyway, so it was like I used that moment to vent again versus taking that moment to be optimistic, taking that moment to be positive, using it as an opportunity to express, not to be naive, but to express I'll use the word again, positivity, versus now sharing the frustration that I have with somebody else. And now they have to take on that weight, and maybe even triggering them because they also have certain gripes with, where we live right now. And it's like, so now I'm kind of feeding this furnace of just frustration with living situations. Anyway, say that to say that when I got the notification after coming back from the gym, I hit the gym like 6, so come back and almost 7:30, it's there. I'm like, wow, look at that. Crazy part is when I got the notification, I didn't go running downstairs to go get it. I mean, my day had already started. There's other things that need to be done, but I knew that because it's in a locker, it was safe and it's going to be accessible when I get downstairs. So I didn't get it till later this evening, like after leaving work. So why am I sharing this? Well, for a few reasons. And then I'm going to connect it to a movie that I saw yesterday that I think is also going to make some sense. And I'm going to find a creative way of doing some of these movie reviews. I'd actually give this movie maybe a 3.5 out of 4 stars. We on the Roger Ebert movie review time tip right now for that. So I'm saying this because of two, maybe 3 reasons. The first reason, or the first thing, is there are some of you that have been waiting for quite some time for your, whatever it is, a breakthrough, a relationship, a job, some cash flow, a business deal, the moment where you breakthrough on social media, whatever it is. Like you've been putting in work, you've been putting in time, and well, not putting in time per se, but you've been putting in effort. Time has been passing, and you just might have gotten the notification that the package has arrived, if not on its way. And for some reason, you're telling yourself, why isn't it not where it said it's supposed to be? If I do this 30-day plan, if I do this business coaching course, whatever, and I'm done, like, why hasn't the thing shown up? And I want to tell you, I want to let you know that the package is there. What you're looking for is that now it may not be visible, it may not be accessible, but it's there. My theory, this is the second thing. So you've been waiting and you know it's supposed to be there for whatever it is that you're looking for. And I'm trying to tell you, it showed up. But here's the second thing. What do you do? Not when you're waiting for it. No. What do you do when you know it's there, or at least on the cusp, you're in the same room as the thing that you were looking for to happen? What do you do between the time that you are in the room with the thing and when you are given the confirmation that it's now time for you to have whatever that thing is, whatever success looks like, whatever the goal looks like, whatever the whatever it is that you've been looking for, that you've been putting in work and you've been giving time and all of that? That's the moment that defines a few things. First, it defines your humanity. It shows you who you are. Listen, it showed my humanity. Remember we talked about the hero's journey a few days ago? And we looked at how when you cross the threshold into the new world, one of the things that you start to hit is called like the belly of the whale, the stage where you just reach a test. Not a test per se, but an experience that shows you that you're just a human being. It reveals your mortality. It reveals that in the grand scheme of things in this world, especially when you crossed into the new world, you took on the hero's journey, you took on the challenge, you realize, wow, in the grand scheme of things, I'm on a special mission. I'm a special person, but I'm still human. And at any moment, anything can happen. So I need to appreciate the fact that I've been given an opportunity to go on a journey, to go after whatever it is that I'm going after, but knowing that I'm still a human being. Now, when you go through the rest of the hero's journey, as we know, there's this stage called apotheosis where you have this godlike transformation and you realize, yeah, I'm still human, but boy, do I got some strength on me. You don't get that when you cross into the new world in the beginning. It's just a wow. I thought I was ready for this, but man, it's as bigger than I thought. There's a lot of introspection and then just you really start to come into your own when you realize like, wow, okay, I need a lot of help. I need help on this journey. Okay. It's a very dark place before testing thing comes when you cross the threshold. Your humanity starts to reveal itself when you're in the same room as the package. You're in the same room as the thing, the experience, whatever it is that you've been waiting for. You might even be looking at it, but you can't get to it because you got to wait for somebody else to come in and unlock it for you. Who do you become in that moment? I think there are levels, y'all. There are levels to this thing. Who are you when you are putting in the work to get to the package? Who are you when you come to the moment that you understand that the package is there? But especially, who are you when you realize that it's there, but you can't access it just yet? Who are you? Who do you become? The other side of this thing too, there's like I said, there's multiple things or layers, is this idea of faith. And I'm not talking about religion and all that. I'm talking about believing. Remember we had the decision framework, a spectrum. And on one side, it's about conviction, the belief that even though you don't have the resources or anything, you believe that this is something that you have to choose to do. And then on the other side is just purely rational, purely utilitarian, purely resources. And based on everything that I literally have, I'm going to make a decision. And in the middle, it's like more balance. But the more life-changing moments in someone's life or for the world, literally the world happens in the fringes, fully conviction-based or fully resource-based. There's a moment that has to happen when you have to believe that you did arrive or that your package has arrived. And then there's just going to be a brief moment. We don't know how long, but most times it's brief, but intense moment that reveals who you are and whether or not you're still ready to have what's been gifted to you or what you've been working so hard for. But now you have to wait for somebody else to give you, in a sense, the permission. You didn't need the permission to get there, but well, maybe not to give you the permission, but you need their permission to unlock what you've been striving for this whole time. Who do you become? What do you believe in that moment? Many people will do what I did. You might show up. Okay, it's not there, man. And you assume the worst. I did. Oh, man, somebody took it. So I leave. Not once did I say, you know what, can you check the lockers? I know it's inconvenient, but can you just, now there are a lot of lockers. How would they know? Apparently, Amazon already put it in a locker. But if and they probably didn't, because usually if they put it in a locker, there'd be a photo that shows it inside the locker, which that wasn't the case. So really what happened was they showed it in the stack of other packages, and maybe somebody else came who was a better front desk concierge individual and responsibly put it in the locker, and then the notification came in the morning. That's probably possible too. But what I'm saying is this. You're there, but you might need an authority. You can call it or believe in whatever you want to call it. God, the universe, a life source, energy, whatever you want to call it. It's likely the thing that you have no control over, that while you're in the room is the last piece of the puzzle. It's not even getting to the package, but it's waiting for the authority that you don't have control over to show up and to release it to you. What does that look like? Well, I saw the movie. I rewatched the movie Age of Adeline, The Age of Adeline, yesterday. And man, what a movie. So I'm not going to give you any spoilers, but actually I am. I lied. I'm gonna spoil this thing for you if you have not seen it yet. This movie is from 2015. So if you haven't seen it yet, then, you know, it is what it is. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm first going to, let me pull up. I'm going to go ahead and pull up a summary so that you know what it's about first. Okay. So Adeline Bowman, who's played by Blake Lively, which, by the way, I didn't know that Blake Lively was going through some stuff right now. I had no idea. I had no idea that I watched this movie and she's in here. And one of my coworkers like, listen, you ain't hear about Blake Lively lately? I was like, no, I just watched the movie and I thought the movie was great. Apparently, she's on one. Adeline Bowman has miraculously remained a youthful 29 years of age for nearly 8 decades, never allowing herself to get close to anyone lest they discover her secret. However, a chance encounter with a charismatic philanthropist named Ellis Jones reawakens Adeline's long-suppressed passion for life and romance. When a weekend with Ellis's parents threatens to expose the truth, Adeline makes a decision that changes her life forever. It's so funny that they say forever because she apparently up until this point was living forever. So there's some themes in this movie that as I saw for the second time, I said, wow, that package you've been waiting for, right? Keep that in mind. We're looking at the package here. And there are a few themes that are in The Age of Adeline. We have immortality and its consequences. We've got love and connection. We've got the passage of time and destiny. We've got this symbol of renewal through what her one of her lovers from years ago, decades ago, called the Della Comet. So back in the day when Adeline was, I mean, she was still 29, but when she was 29 in like the 40s or something like that, yeah, I mean 40s, 50s, her nickname was Della. Della got her groove back. Her nickname was Della. And so her lover at the time, who ended up becoming an astronomer, named a comet after her. Apparently, it was a comet that he had calculated was going to cross the sky. It would be visible for Earth, like a special comet. And so he called it the Della Comet because it was almost as if, from an astronomical perspective, he one day wanted to see Adeline again. Here's the crazy part. He named the comet Della, and at this point, he's already married. He has kids. But this was, at that time, the love of his life. And he had calculated that this comet would circle back and come around at a very particular moment in time in which it never did, at least not physically. So it's almost as if he had this long-awaited hope that Della or Adeline would one day come back into his life, or that he would see her again, even though he is full-on married, happy, and has kids. It's wild. It's wild. I wish they would have delved into that part of the movie just a little bit more from his perspective, and how the complexities of being able to move on. Well, did he really have a marriage of 40 years? Y'all, this is crazy. A 40-year run. About to celebrate the 40th year and an anniversary. And still was thinking about the idea of the one that got away, calculating that one day it'll come back. Well, it did. Because the person that she fell in love with was that man's son. Of course, she didn't know this. The philanthropist was the man's son that she fell in love with in the 40s or 50s. Why? So they fall in love. He invites her to their parents' anniversary party. And as soon as she walks through the door, his father, who was once her lover, he was like, Adeline Bowman. That was played by Harrison Ford, by the way. So you can tell, like, with the deep voice, Adeline Bowman. Like, and she could not. I mean, how do you don't know what's about to happen, right? I mean, he shook, she shook. It's like they had this locked in moment. And then she's like, no, that was my mother who died 6 years ago. Like, she flipped it. Like, well, you have the same striking resemblance. All right. So the comet came back in the form of Adeline herself. Well, why am I saying this? Well, first of all, when she came back, first of all, homeboy couldn't come back and try to. Now, wifey actually got a little jealous. 40 years marriage. And while he was talking about at the dinner table now, his mother, which was really her mother, Adeline's mother, which was really Adeline herself, because, she deceived him. You can see how he lit up, and you can hear the intonations in his voice. And so the wife of 40 years eventually got up and was just like, yo, you can't, what are you doing? You still love this woman who's dead now? Like, what are we doing right now? On this weekend, our 40th anniversary, you out here pining after, you still up? And the crazy part is, I'm going to spoil it for you. I mean, I already spoiled most of it. This is when it gets really good. He realized that even though she was once that love, that the chemistry was like it was just amazing, she was fleeting. She left. She left him hanging. He was about to propose, and she saw that, and she just left him sitting there on the park bench, just kind of figuring out, like, where did she go? But who was there consistently was the wife of 40 years. The wife showed up day in and day out. That was the one who was committed, versus that long lost love that as much chemistry as there was, man, it didn't last, right? Because she left. She ran away. I mean, and partly for good reason. I mean, she was going to outlive him. This was the reality. Now, how did that happen? We'll talk about that. But so there's this Della Comet situation, and the crazy part is that at the end, and I love how the narrator says it. I had to write this down. The narrator um, says it that William was the first lover, Ellis's father, and then Ellis was the new lover. So it's like she falls in love with William's son. It's a little twisted, but the narrator says William was right after all. The comet, Della C 1981, finally did return, half a century late, but as bright and magnificent as he had predicted. Because some of us are waiting for the package. We're waiting for the thing, the person, the experience, whatever it is to come, and it may not necessarily come when you're expecting it. It may be delayed, but when it does show up, man, is it going to be as bright and as magnificent as you predicted? It's gonna be amazing. But we're not really talking about when it finally comes. We're talking about when it comes, what you choose to do with it. The maturity of William to say, you know what? My time with you has already expired. I've been with this one woman for 40 years. Number one. Number two, I can't throw away. I think he's like what, in his 70s now. 70-year-old going out with no 29-year-old, right? Like that time has expired. But it's like he understood and he allowed not that he allowed, but I mean he accepted the fact that his son, which is so crazy, like the connection that was still there, but he accepted the fact that his son, he embraced the fact that his son was the one now to experience the love that he once had years, decades ago, right? While still choosing to love with his whole heart the wife that he had moved on from that experience and chose to move on and to still have a fulfilling life. The 2 car accidents that happened. And this is part of like what's going on here. So Adeline got her immortality because in the first car accident, which happens in 1937, that's when her immortality begins. And so she falls into a freezing river and lightning strikes like a crazy freak, like lightning situation, suspends her in time. They kind of break down the whole molecular equation of how and why that occurs. And what it does is it separates her from the natural course of life. So that's the first time. The second time, which is, those almost 80 years, 90 years later, very similar to the first, but it reverses the consequences. So now instead of making her live forever, this is now causing her to once again have a second chance to live fully. There's a quote, I have to find the quote where he says, this is William. William tells Adeline, because she's always running from connection. And she's always running from connection because he's always outliving these people, right? And so he says, what does William say? He says, I'm going to find it for you. He says, give me 1 second. William. I had it written down. It wasn't William that said it. It was Ellis. Ellis said, all these years you've lived, but you've never had a life. I think William said that actually, but amazing how you can be in a situation where as you're chasing, I'm kind of paralleling it back to chasing whatever it is that you're pursuing in 2025. Don't live 2025, but don't have a life. Don't spend so much time focused on getting whatever it is, getting the bag, getting the fitness, getting the relationship, whatever it is. And it's usually those three things: health, wealth, and relationships. It's usually those three things, three buckets that we can just put everything in. You'll spend so much time with that you start to neglect or to ignore life that is happening around you. All these years you've lived, but you've never had a life. Key quote there. All right. So lots of things in this movie that, that can be covered. I would say, though, that with those two accidents, I like how their book ended. One that gives her immortality, another one that strips it away. And she knows that it's taken away because at the end of the movie, she notices a gray strand of hair. This is great, just symbolism that just is throughout this entire thing. And so her eventual decision to stop running and to embrace life, that's what marks her emotional breakthrough. Unfortunately, some of us, she had to have a whole accident situation in order to crystallize her decision. Here's the thing: the accident didn't cause her to say, okay, I'm going to start living life. On her way, when she was running, she said, you know what? I think she called her daughter. It's like, you know what? I'm going to stop running. No more running. And then that's when, as soon as she chose to stop running, that's when the last accident happened and her clock of mortality began again. There are going to be some things right now in 2025 that won't happen. I pray it's not an accident that happens to you, but some momentous, major things that won't happen, that are out of your control until you decide to make the decision. I know that sounds redundant, to decide to make the decision, but until you make the decision, that big moment that you're looking for is not going to happen. As soon as she said, you know what, I know that I live longer than everyone else, but I'm going to choose to enjoy the life that I have with this person that I felt fallen in love with, the opportunity for her to live that mortal life with that person happened. So when she chooses love and vulnerability, she then finds purpose and fulfillment. That's what this movie was starting to show us here. And it also mirrors the delayed return of the Della Comet as well. Because even after a long wait, what happens is that brilliance and that meaning in life emerges. Y'all, great movie. Great movie. The first half, I like the first half, but most people in the first half are like, oh, okay, this is an okay movie. But then when you hit that second half, you're like, whoa, okay, now we're cooking. Oh, all right. Yeah. The quote that says in the movie, like it's not the same when there's no growing old together. Without that, love is just heartbreak. Like, anyway, so this movie is a tale of transformation. It's also a tale of resilience in choosing to love again. It's about the enduring power of love. William is just as much of a character in this movie as Adeline is, because he loved deeply and he at some point let go of that love to choose to love again. Hey, listen, some of y'all, you're going to have to, whatever it is, may not be the love of a person, but it might be passion for something, where that season just might have come to a close. And it is now time to move and to put that passion, in this case, it's in a relationship. In your case, it may be something else that you just need to pour it into. Just it's time to move on, time to move forward. And I think this movie was brilliant with just showing that, like through the exploration of time and destiny, people meeting up again, human connection. Some of us run from human connection. Some of us connect too much. Some of y'all have too much connection, right? But what the film does is it invites the viewers to just reflect on their own journeys and the importance of embracing change, because a lot of that has to do with change. So, I mean, I would say like the Della Comet, our most brilliant moments may come late, but they remain as magnificent and as bright as ever. Yeah, there's so many other things. There's so many other things, tenets that we can pull from this movie. But I hope that's helpful. I hope that you first of all know that the package is there. Be encouraged. The package has arrived. You've been working so hard for the last few years or whatever it is. Maybe it has been a few months, but I'm talking about some of y'all for the last few years. You have been working. You've been putting in that work. The package is in the storage room. And you're in the storage room too. All you need to do is wait long enough to allow that which you cannot have control over to open the locker that has the package in it. You're in the storage room. You don't have access just yet. Access is coming. If you're like me, maybe you need to leave the storage room. Let it go. Some of y'all are not supposed to leave the storage room, though. Some of y'all are supposed to stay right in there and wait for it to be unlocked. Some of y'all, you just need to relax and just know that it's there. It said it arrived. And just continue doing what you're doing, and it will show up. The notification will say, hey, it's now ready. Why? Because you're ready. Some of y'all, you need to demand it. Like the locker is not going to open unless you say, hey, open up now. Because everybody's journey is different. Some of you have to exercise patience because you've lived such a demanding life that you don't know anything else but just taking it when you want it. Some of you have to exercise the sense of urgency of taking it because you've never really done that in your life. You have waited and waited. You've waited on other people. You waited for other things to happen. And I'm not saying that you're timid or you're shy or you're fearful. No, or passive. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that you're patient. And now this new thing that is supposed to be given to you requires you to exert a level of assertiveness, borderline some aggression to take what you say you really want. So that when it's given, if anyone tried to take it from you, you'd use that same level of assertion to protect it. And not, oh, yeah, have it, it's okay. I'll be patient because it'll come back. And it just might come back, but 25, we're not on that. 2025, you're not allowing anybody to take what you've spent years waiting for. And now that it's in the vicinity, it's in your proximity, it's within reach. Yeah, just go ahead and grab it. Just go ahead and take it. You might need to. Now remember, this is not your ability to unlock the locker, but you do have the ability to have the spirit of assertion and say, I need this and I'm taking it now. Knowing that it's not you that's doing it. But that energy that you're giving off, you'll get it. God will unlock it for you. And if you don't believe in God, then the universe will unlock it for you. And if you don't believe in the universe, then the quantum level will unlock it for you. I don't know. Like it will be unlocked. But you gotta put some umph in it. That's some of you. Others of you don't need to do it that way. You ain't on that. You've been doing that your whole life. Calm down, relax. Leave the room. That's what I had to do. I had to leave the room. Leave the room. Go take a nap. It'll be there when you wake up. All right. Let's see. So what else? What else can we take a look at regarding regarding the age of Adeline. I mean, I think one of the craziest things is that when we talk about pursuit, when we talk about relationships, I think one of the or coolest maybe is that when Ellis saw her for the first time, not William. William is the older guy, the older one that's married for 40 years, and then he's surprised when he sees her. Ellis is the son. When Ellis sees her at the New Year's Eve function, he did not, or that was not the first time that he saw her. Now, in the movie, they make it seem as if that's the first time, but that's not the first time he saw her. He actually saw her for the very first time in a board meeting, because I think she's a part of the board for the library that was, in the area, and I think that once again he's doing some philanthropic work, and so he was on that board as well. And he saw her at the board meeting, and he said, "I knew I needed to see you again. I didn't know when, but I knew it would happen." The Della Comet. It's like the Della Comet effect. It's like, I didn't know when, but I know it was going to happen. Patience. Because when he sees her the second time at the New Year's Eve function, now he's going for it. Now he's going after her. Now, when she's going on the elevator to leave, he sticks his hand through the elevator doors and gets it smashed in until the elevator opens back up for him to have his opening, no pun intended, because the elevator door opens, have his opening to talk to her. That does not happen. As we talk about patience, right? He did both. We talk about the package, and when sometimes you have to go after it, sometimes you have to be patient. He was patient on the first. He's that, you know what? This is going to happen again. I will see her again. Our paths will kiss. I don't know when, I don't know how, but our paths are going to cross. And when it does, why? Because they're on business. Board ain't really the time. And I like the wisdom in this. The board wasn't the time to try to shoot his shot. Like, we on business. Like, I need to hold back, but I will see her again. And you have to believe, man, listen, y'all, you have to believe those things as well. Like, you have to trust that if it's for you, you will see it or them or whatever. It's gonna happen, because what's for you, it's gonna be for you. You can't sabotage what is for you as much as you want to. Now, you can delay, you can create difficulty in getting it. Even the degree or the quantity or the quality of what you're supposed to have could be impacted because of foolish acts or selfishness, whatever it is. Those things can be impacted, but it's still for you. Ain't nothing changed. The timeline of when you're supposed to do it or experience it, if it's like, just pure bliss, you should have had bliss for 40 years. Maybe you're going to have it for 3 days. It's still yours. It's still there. It's not going anywhere. It may change form. Duration might be impacted, but it's still yours. He exhibited patience in the beginning, y'all. Oh, who's that? I'll see her again. If I don't, I don't. But man, if I see her again, I believe I'm going to see her again. And then he did. And then that time, it wasn't time to be like, oh man, I guess I'm going to see her again for a third time. No. That was the time to take action. Both can happen in your journey. You can have a moment that you're supposed to seize, a moment that you're supposed to have, a person that you're supposed to connect with. And it doesn't have to be romantic, by the way. And you might see them in passing. You might even be in the same room with them. And then you just have to let it go. Embrace the moment for what it is, and then just let it go. But if you do believe that, man, that experience, that moment, that person, and sometimes you just know, like, I'm going to see them again. Or You didn't know that you're going to see them again, and then you do. And then in your mind, you're like, is this a sign or is this a coincidence or what is this? Yeah, you got to trust. You got to trust what's going on internally. Right? You got to trust what's going on internally. I remember this is actually when was this? Had to have been like last year. I'm in the supermarket, which I'm not going to tell you which supermarket because just saying the name will get me upset all over again. Many lanes, not enough cashiers, and half of those cash registers are broken. But the prices are so low, and the convenience of having everything in one place. Y'all probably know what I'm talking about. So anyway, I kept running into the same person, like just different times, but like in the same aisle. I was like, oh wow, even down to the checkout, which is great. Even down to I'm on one side, and then she, as I'm about to check out, is like ends up somehow right behind me. It's wild. Put everything in the car, and it was like, oh, it is what it is. And then I'm about to drive off, and I was like, oh, that's the same person. I shoot the shot. I don't have time today, sir. I was like, well, can't say the shot wasn't shot, but the point was, because of what I thought were the synchronous moments that I saw. And it's so funny when she said it, she didn't even say it with attitude. She said it like kind of joking, like, you probably had your chance when when I was right behind you. Now I'm actually ready to. I'm be out the store. I'm ready to go. Yeah, that shot is done. Because what she said is like, yo, I boing, like she was like, listen, I don't got time right now. You had time when we were waiting that long, and when I knew, it's just one of those things. It was like, and I just really didn't feel that social because that particular store pissed me off every time I have to wait in the line, and all of the frozen foods that I have bought just thaw out because I gotta wait on. Anyway, we're not gonna go there. Point is, could have been the moment in the store, or maybe it wasn't the moment at all. Because sometimes you won't know until you know. Even if it's delayed, even if it's late, shoot the shot. I mean, of course, that's just that's a one-off light example I'm sharing, but there are other examples, y'all, that are more heavy, that have more weight to it. Moments that you should not let go by, where the shot needs to be shotted. All right. Well, that's it. That's all I got. That's all I got. Shoot the shot, wait for the package. If you're in the room, the package is there. If you're in the storage room, the package is there. You just need to either wait, leave, take a nap, relax. It's going to be there. Or you need to start knocking on the, hey, listen, I think it might be in this one. Can we open it up? Open him up. I need, I can't leave here without it. But you got to know. You got to know for yourself. You got to know where you are, what the journey entails. Because sometimes it's both. In the age of Adeline, it was both. He saw, he waited, he didn't even, you know what I'm saying, like months probably passed by, and then he saw again, and then he pursued. For some of y'all that just like don't rush or force something that just doesn't need to happen. And then for some of y'all, like you need to apply pressure. Now, I'm not talking about applying pressure to the person. That's a whole nother situation. We ain't talking about that. What I am talking about, though, is opportunities. What I am talking about is like the work, the sweat equity that you've put in, and the moment is there. Like the deal is right there on the table, and you just need to push it over so that you can land it or whatever it is. It's right there, y'all. So some of y'all need to go after it because you've been spending years going after it. You mean to tell me that you're gonna let up now? In 2025? Oh, come. Oh, don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. Now, and some of y'all, you've been pushing for everything your whole life and you've been getting it. And maybe this is the moment where you need to exercise or to demonstrate the faith, the trust. It's still going to be there. It's there. I've worked down to this very moment, and I can trust that I can rest, be rejuvenated, and be ready for what you can't be ready for it if you're tired. Rest, relax. It's coming. It'll be there. It'll be there when you come back. Just like I'll be here when you come back. All right. So, in the meantime, as we kind of just start to wrap things up here, one day, so I had this idea, but I'm not going to share it on LinkedIn. So, LinkedIn, I'll see y'all later. Okay. YouTube still on too?